Do you believe that conceal and carry has something or has contributed to the increase in crime? Anyone can answer this question.
Well, I've already got the NRA hating all over me, so I'll answer it. Of course it has. But it has not because concealed carry has been seen to be a right, okay? There's a place for concealed carry, you know? I mean, everybody wants to talk about the law-abiding person, and I agree, all right? A law-abiding person in the United States who passes a background check and is responsible and is not a criminal, why shouldn't they get a concealed carry permit? But that's not what's happened in Wisconsin. We wrote a law, we didn't, the NRA did, wrote a law in Wisconsin that the legislature passed that arms criminals lawfully, okay? That's the law. We have a statute in this state that defines a career criminal as somebody who's been convicted of 3 misdemeanors or 1 felony within 5 years. Now, in Milwaukee, the overwhelming majority of our arrested felons plead guilty to misdemeanors and get a plea bargain. And I get it. System's overwhelmed with arrests. But the problem is when they passed the law in Wisconsin, they only said convicted felons can't qualify for a gun permit. So I've got armed career criminals with concealed permits guarding drug dealers. We call them human holsters. They're sitting in the car with 3 felons and they're carrying 3 guns. Okay? That's a crazy law. Every year since that law was passed in 2011, every year, non-fatal shootings have gone up, gun-related homicides have gone up, and the number of guns seized from the streets by our department has gone up. Our department seizes more guns per capita than any big city in the United States of America. New York City last year seized guns at the rate of 43 guns per 100,000. Chicago, who we all hear about, seized guns at the rate of 260 per 100,000. That's a lot of guns. Last year we seized 406 firearms per 100,000. That's what our cockamamie law has done here. And those guns are falling into the hands of immature young offenders who by the time their brains have caught up with their actions are in prison. And that's the tragedy. Stupid disputes that would have been fistfights are now shootings. Facebook fights are now shootings. Road rages are now shootings. It's an irresponsible law passed by irresponsible legislatures who are more interested in ideological points than saving lives, and I'd sure as hell like some more community outreach about that, because that's what's driving the violence in this city, and too many public officials are silent on it.
Just a quick comment, if I may. I'm in a position where I have the opportunity to lobby Madison for change, should change be warranted. I have never had a conversation with you, Chief, relative to you displaying that we are arresting an overwhelming amount of people, or even one person who's committed a crime while carrying a CCW, licensed carrying concealed weapon.
Well, Mike, you might like to know that the same law says that I'm forbidden to tell the public when a CCW permit holder breaks the law. I'm forbidden by statute. By statute, I'm not allowed. The one exception to the open records law is the CCW status of my armed offenders. Okay? So when you hear some guy on talk radio next time say the law is working, where are the problems with it? We're forbidden from telling you how many times knuckleheads with a permit shoot each other in cars. Okay? We're forbidden to tell you the times they've used concealed carry permits and shot people in disputes. We're not allowed. Now, I don't know how many cops need to get shot in this town or how many residents need to get murdered for the union to be interested in the issue.
How about 0? That's what I'll tell you. No cop should ever be shot because you don't want to have a conversation with us relative to an issue. You just illustrated in front of all these people where the law might be in error. But I don't think you sit back over there and say that the majority of gun crimes in this city are committed by those that are legal CCW holders.
He just said that he doesn't have the legal authority to tell you that. I mean, that's what he just said. So that's what he just said in the conversation. So I mean, let's be fair. Let's be fair. I'd like to ask, moving forward.
That's one aspect of the law that's problematic. The other aspects of the law is secondary sales don't require background checks. So I'm not trying to say that our gun crime is driven by permit
CCW,
holders.
right.
What I'm trying to say is the law that created the permit holding also, you know, it made it very easy to get
Makes
a
a
gun
loophole,
permit.
is that fair to say?
And it also got rid, there aren't any background checks for secondary sales. So people are buying, the vast majority of the guns used in our crimes were bought lawfully, all right, and then sold secondarily on the streets. And so that's, yet the law is a problem. I don't want to get, you know, sandwiched into, no, I'm blaming, you know, lawfully carrying people for our crime increase. No, a component of it is, yeah, criminals can get concealed carry permits, but the bigger issue is that there's no background checks for secondary sales, and so we basically have an unregulated gun market out there.